What's up, everybody? It's Steven coming to you from a time that is different from when this episode was recorded. As Keegan mentioned to you last week, my wonderful wife and I welcomed a wonderful baby girl into our lives and family. Thankfully, we had planned ahead for this, and we had a few episodes pre-recorded and ready to go, this being one of them. Originally, we were going to be releasing this in a couple weeks, right before the newest Bond film comes out, but since our wonderful daughter decided to come a little bit early, so is this episode coming a little bit early. On top of that, this episode is also quite a long boy, as there were 25 Bond films, 25 theme songs to go for each one of those. So we're actually going to be dividing this up into 2 different weeks. So you'll get the first half of it this week, and then you'll get the second half of it next week, kind of similar to when we did Star Wars a while back. So I hope you'll enjoy this first half of the episode this week. Would love your feedback and thoughts, and then catch the second half of it next week. Also, this is probably a great time to announce to you that our YouTube channel is up and running and going live, and there might just be some special video tidbits that we'll be doing throughout the week. Just in between episodes, little extra things. I know I'm going to be doing a few of those for sure. So check out links to our YouTube channel. You can get those on social media. They'll be all over the place in a little bit. But check that out, subscribe, like, all that jazz. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Marvelous Music. I've got my coffee, I've got my water, and today he is a singing, dancing, acting triple threat, as well as the co-host of the Movie Fanatics YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. We'll have that link in the show notes for this episode, so you can go check out him and his buddy that have their channel. They do film reviews. I've checked out a lot of your videos, because it's not all current movies. There's a lot of classics in there too. So like, what's kind of the gist of the channel?
Well, there really isn't a gist of the channel. If you look at like the info on it's basically like movie rankings, sometimes television if we feel like it, stuff like that. Kind of just plan accordingly. And I'm more of like the older movie guy, more of just what do we want to do in the month of whatever. And we kind of just plan according to. But in October, I'm going to be tackling a ton of scary movies. So
nice.
Yes.
Nice. So how did you guys get started with the channel? Because you've only been doing it for a year and a half.
Year. We actually, it's kind of funny. So I've always wanted to do it, and it was actually kind of a shower thought. And it's like everything came together, like our title and the way we intro all of our videos. It was all like a shower thought. And then I pitched it to my friend, and he was like, "Let's do it." And we just kind of did it. And I think our videos have gotten better as we've gone on.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say how it started because it was kind of like an amalgamation of thought.
Yeah. And I know, like, I was thinking about this almost as soon as we started talking, and I went back and watched some of the videos on y'all's channel, just to kind of have some feel and some research. And I noticed a video where it's Brannick, right? He did like it was like 5 or 6 minutes of a breakdown of the use of the DS E-Ray in film scoring. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, this dude is speaking my language right now. This is amazing. What I've noticed too is there's not a lot of film score analysis. There's like a handful of podcasts that I was able to find. Yeah. There's a handful of podcasts, and then there will be like YouTubers that will break down specific movies, but it's hard to find anyone that's just consistently putting out film score analysis. And so I think whenever people can get that, people find it really, really fascinating.
Indeed. Yeah. And plus, I didn't even know that like that topic was a thing in film score until I watched this video, and then I was like, oh yeah, it did sound like that at that point in that movie.
Yeah.
And I think he did a great job of covering all the main scores that it's in. And a lot of them are John Williams scores, actually, if you think about it.
Well, and what was funny is why that stood out to me was because I had just, for our Star Wars ranking a while back,
Yeah,
I had just
that's a
done an
while ago.
analysis of the score for Rogue One, and
I love that score.
the Dies Irae is like it's the DNA of that entire score.
Especially in the third act. It's all over that third act.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the third act of that movie.
And what I loved about it is it's literally like telegraphing that each character is going to die, because this piece of music is associated
Spoiler
with,
alert for Rogue One.
Yeah, because this piece of music is associated with death, and so because this piece of music is baked into every character's theme through the entire movie, it's telling you where we're headed. And I love it. It's so good. I actually watched a few videos, but
thank you.
The other one that was fantastic was your ranking of all of the Bond films.
That took a long... that video took 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because there were 9 I had not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took 2 weeks out of my summer and watched those 9 movies. I enjoyed some of them, and some of them were awful to get through, and we'll probably touch about those when we talk about the songs later. And then I had to do the ranking. That changed like 4 times.
Yeah.
But then I got a solid ranking and I filmed. It took me about 40 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
And that does kind of lead us into what we're doing today, because this episode is going to be coming out the week that the new Bond film No Time to Die comes out.
You planned that perfectly.
I really did. It was not on purpose, and then I was like, "Oh, this is
October
perfect.
8th."
Yeah. So in honor of Bond 25 coming out, we are doing a ranking of the now 25 Bond themes, because if you're not familiar with Bond, pretty much
Basically every,
Yeah.
I mean, either has like a regular song or an instrumental song.
Yes. That is basically the theme song for that movie. And there's a wide spectrum of good and bad and in the middle.
Yeah, but I think the Bond song is like the main marketing thing about the
Mm-hmm.
movie. It's like the actor, the poster, and the song.
Yeah, well, and especially I think in the last like couple of decades of Bond, the song will drop in advance of the movie, and that's kind of the first, I think, before even the trailer drops.
Oh, it's the song.
Yeah, and the song is what's supposed to start building the hype for the movie.
And I think it was for Skyfall that I had heard that song so many times on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And little me at like age 9, I didn't really know what Bond was. Like, I knew what Bond was, but I didn't really like, you know.
Yeah.
And I heard that song so many times, and then I watched the movie on like DVD or something, and I was like, whoa, that's what that song is from.
Yeah, I mean, that one blew up. I think it charted #1 for a while as well.
I think it won an award too.
It did. It won the Oscar.
It did win the Oscar.
Yeah. And did it win a Grammy?
I must have won a Grammy.
I feel like it did. I
Because
know it won the Oscar.
that Writings on the Wall won both an Academy Award and a Grammy, I think, if I have it correctly here. Yeah, it won both an Academy and a Golden Globe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, so obviously we're going to try to get through these as concisely as we can. There's 25 songs. It took a long time.
For an hour.
It took a long time to prep for this, because it takes like an hour and a half just to listen to all of them straight through, which I've done more than once now.
Me too, because I had to keep like stopping and starting, and especially the Bond songs. If you don't just listen to them all the way through, you can't really get into them if you keep starting and stopping.
Well, and it's hard to, since we are ranking, it's hard to really compare them if you don't listen to them all back to back to back. At least for me, because I can't like hold each one of them in my head if I listen to 5 and then go away for an hour or two and then come back and listen to the next 5. The first 5 are already gone.
Yeah, definitely.
So
also, we talked about either doing like our own personal list or one like
the master list.
The master list, as you were, and I think it'd be more fun to do like individual lists.
Mm-hmm.
Also, every single song is different.
Yeah,
because there are like different like styles. Like there's like the love ballads. There's like the bombastic horn and trumpet songs. Like it spans like over 50 years.
Yeah. Well, and so just to even add a little bit to that on just the analysis side. So everyone knows the James Bond theme, and that's the theme of the
Dr.
first
No.
Bond movie, Dr. No.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes back in pretty much every movie.
I think it's used at some point.
In every soundtrack.
Every soundtrack.
Now that song usually has some kind of influence on the rest of the Bond themes from there on out. Whether it's the complete chord structure of the song or if it's just that little like da somewhere thrown in.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
In almost everyone, because it's not everyone, in almost every one of them, that theme either makes up the whole DNA of the song or kind of dances in for a second and comes back.
Yeah, it does do that. I think it was used more in like the golden age of Bond, which was the 60s and the 70s. I think it was used more there because in the Craig movies and the Craig songs, it's not really used.
They definitely, and we talked about this. You know what? Let's not even jump into that. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Right.
Yeah, let's not get all the...
Let's do it.
All right, so here we go. From 25 all the way to 1, the Bond themes ranked. As you are the guest, I'm going to have you go first with your worst Bond song, number 25.
Okay, so a quick thing. It was super hard. I don't hate any of these songs. Okay. But it's from like love to like the least.
Okay.
At number 25, it's No Time to Die.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And let me get it out first. So it's hard to judge the song because the movie isn't out yet. I feel like that the vocals and the instrumentals are pitch perfect. I've never been a huge fan of
Billie Eilish.
I've never been a huge fan of her work. It comes after Skyfall and Writings on the Wall, two fantastic songs. I just don't think it lives up to it. There's a cue in it that's straight out of Sam Smith's song, I think. I don't know. It's probably the last Bond song I'll go to if I want a Bond song. But again, I do find it aggressively good in my own mind, but it's definitely the one I'll listen to the least. And I listened to it a lot when we were prepping. I just didn't really enjoy it all that much. So at number 25 is No Time to Die.
Interesting.
I told you I was going to shock you.
You did. You shocked. I'm having a hard time like continuing. I was not expecting that at all. That's interesting. All right, so my number 25, it is Nobody Does It Better from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh my god.
And so here's the thing with that.
Oh no.
I think Spy Who Loved Me is a little bit overrated, and we've talked about this. Like,
it's really overrated.
People call it Roger Moore's best Bond movie. It's not. It's very dull. It's slow. It takes the least amount of risks in all of his films.
Oh, it plays it incredibly safe.
Yeah, which I think some people liked because they started out taking a ton of risks and then they got even crazier. So I think they look back at this one and they're like, oh yeah, this is just so solid and it's the most Bond, but it's just dull. And so with that in mind, I think the song works really well for the film because the song is also really dull.
Wow, that cuts deep. I honestly thought that would be ranked higher on your list.
No, and here's the thing too is there's no Bond theme anywhere in this song. It's nowhere. So it's literally just like this slow love song piano thing. And it's dull and it's boring and it doesn't sound like a Bond song in any way. And there are some, and we'll get into this later as we get to them, but there are some Bond songs that really, they can play with this style. Like some of them are very much like 80s rock or 70s funk or something like that. So they play with the style, but they still respect the musical structure of Bond themes. And it still kind of sounds like, oh yeah, this is a Bond song. Yeah. This one does not, like if you just heard it, you wouldn't associate it with Bond.
I agree with you and I disagree with you. I agree with you in the way that looking back at the legacy of the series, it gets lost in the pack a little bit. But I also like that it has a legacy of its own because I hear this on the radio so much.
Yeah.
And I like that it has a legacy. I think that the title sequence is better than the song. I think it's a strong title sequence.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I'm also not a huge fan of this movie. I said it in my ranking. I'm not going to go into it. I think it's boring, but yeah, that's interesting. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah. We're shocking each other right out of the gate.
Yeah. All right.
All right. What's your number 24?
24 is another movie I'm not a huge fan of, Moonraker.
Okay.
Of course, by the great Shirley Bassey, which this was her last Bond theme. And she went out on a low note, as far as I'm concerned. I love the vocals and the music. I just think switch out the words and it could be any Bond song.
Mm-hmm.
It could be any Bond song.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hammer home the theme of space in this song because the movie's called Moonraker,
and they go to space
for like 20 minutes. They don't hammer home that theme at all in the song. Also, the title sequence is probably my least favorite title sequence. Everything just drags this thing down. The only thing is as Bassey does a good job. Like she really belts it out.
Yeah.
But I just think that the song is dull and boring, and another song I probably won't listen to until I watch the movies or something again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I hear you.
At number 24 is Moonraker for me.
Right on. So my number 24 is All Time High from Octopussy.
Wow, Steven, you're really making me mad.
I'm so sorry. Now I will say this. I love the saxophone intro in this one.
It's very 80s.
Yes.
It's very 80s.
But I love it, and it's kind of Bondish. So it...
I forgot about the saxophone.
It starts very, very well, I think. But then it becomes another just slow ballad that, again, forsakes that kind of Bond musical DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, if you're going to separate yourself from the structure of the Bond theme, you had better have a good replacement. And you had better do a great job. And in my opinion, this song on its own is not strong enough for them to completely forsake what came before it and do their own thing with it. So it gets 24 instead of 25 because I like the intro a lot. But other than that, that's all I got on.
I will say this about All Time High, and you'll see it eventually in my ranking. I like it. I think it's a cool song. I think it fits the very dull title sequence it accompanies. It's extremely dull. But I do like the song. It really is. It fits the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm also a huge fan of the more movies. But and we have talked about this. I do think that they went with this instead of trying to figure out how to put the name Octopussy into a song. I don't know how they would have done.
You couldn't play it on the radio. It gets censored.
And also, just how do you fit that into a song? Octopussy.
That makes me so uncomfortable.
But it's true.
You're right.
It's true. Like, how did they fit? I think that they went with this off of the backs of, was it For Your Eyes Only that was before this?
Yes.
Which
yes.
I think that song is much better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a larger fan of this. Steven, it doesn't sound like you're a fan of the Moore films.
The more songs, but some of them do rank a lot higher. So I'm not going to completely... So I will say this. In my first ranking, I think there are 6 or 7 more films.
7.
I believe I had 6 of the 7 songs just 19 through 25. And it changed. So it is not that anymore.
If you hear banging and screaming, that's because. Okay, anyway, at 23, right?
Yes, 23.
23 is another song I can't stand. It's the most annoying Bond song ever. Die Another Day.
Okay.
It's probably the only song I do hate. But the reason why it is high at number 23 is because I do find it kind of fun and stupid and just like really like, I don't know. I hate that like electric sounding. It's really annoying, and the title sequence is uncomfortable. It is used well in the movie that it's in. I will say it is used pretty well, but I don't know. I do like the movie more than the song.
I feel that
because like the pre-title sequence is so good, and then the song comes on. I want to put earplugs in my ears or Q-tips.
Yeah.
No, at number 23 is Die Another Day. Ugh.
Yeah, I'll throw my thoughts in there when I get to it. I don't think
it's higher on your list, Steven?
Not much.
Okay,
but
good.
it is.
All right, so my number 23.
I'm out of coffee.
You're gonna get mad again. Is For Your Eyes Only.
It's like an icy dagger to my heart.
Here's my first 2 sentences in my notes on this song. First sentence, well, this is pretty trash. Second sentence, all caps, stop with the power ballads. I was over it at this point. Again, it is better than the 2 that came before it. There's more to love about it, I think. There's more to kind of latch onto. But again, it's just this slow, drolling, dragging song. It, again, does not use the sound of Bond at all. And really, same thoughts as the other 2. And that's why these 3 were so frustrating to me. And it makes sense that these 3 are together because I think they're similar in a lot of ways. Like I even say, I think in my notes, it feels like a cross between the 2 that just came before it. And for that reason, it's there. I'm sorry. Breathe.
Okay, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna try to not hurt you. You hate Roger Moore. Wow.
It's just the bottom 3.
Wow.
Hold on, let me double check.
I think it's iconic for the series. I think it's so good.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's the song that's associated with Roger Moore, along with Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
I think it's a song that's associated with.
Well, get
Moore.
into your rebuttal when you get to your ranking, because I think
I'm crying, guys.
You're gonna be way higher.
I'm crying. I'm crying. All right.
I'm gonna reassure you and say that the next one on my list is not a Roger Moore one.
Thank holy God. Thank the Lord. All right, number 22. Another song I despise, but I kind of have some fond memories of listening to it. Another Way to Die, aka the theme to Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
I don't like either of these people. I've never really heard. I might have heard stuff from them, but it's kind of like jumbled in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's aggressively okay. I don't hate it like a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
I do hate the movie it accompanies. But the weird shout outs of ooh that happens throughout that song, is that like the ooh,
oh, the
ooh,
little riff, like
yeah,
ooh.
It's so uncomfortable.
They cut a lot of that out in the movie version, though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
it makes you flinch.
And so let me pause there. I only listened to the movie versions of all these songs. Yes, because I wanted it to be like, I wanted to only hear it as they packaged it for the film.
I listened to like the full things. Plus,
okay,
I was already tired of the Bond movies because I had just done a ranking.
Right.
So,
right.
It's aggressively okay. It's the best thing in that movie other than Craig and Judi Dench.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only other good thing in that movie.
Okay. I disagree, but I think that's fair. You're not going to be mad about where I put it. I don't think.
If it's anything higher than, 20, I might have to.
Well, then you're going to be mad, but.
Okay, let's do it though.
My number 22 is License to Kill, Timothy Dalton. So here's the thing with this song. It opens with the same 2-note like motif as Goldfinger, which I thought was super cool. Yes, it's the same 2 notes. The bum bum. It's the same thing, and I loved that. I thought that was a great. Yes,
that's Bond.
And what I really okay. So the good things.
Is there any good things, Steven?
Yes. No, there are. It sounds like an 80s power rock interpretation of Bond music, and I love that. I think that the vocal on this is amazing.
Gladys Knight.
Yeah, the vocal through the whole thing, incredible.
She belts it out.
I love it. It reminds me of Shirley Bassey. It's very good. It almost starts, it doesn't change keys, but it starts with more of that kind of like minor key Bond spy feel. And then like halfway through the song, it switches into a much more like major sounding, like it sounds like too happy, I guess, about
pretty
halfway
dark
through.
Movie.
Yeah. But so that's why it ranks down here, is because I think the first half of this song is incredible and Bond and amazing. And then the back half of the song, I think it just kind of progressively nosedives. And then it would have gotten higher if at the end of it, it would have looped back around to that initial sound, but it really doesn't. And so that's why it kind of went there. And the way I ranked these is as I listened to them, I gave them all a 1 to 10 ranking. And this one is it's a 5 out of 10.
Right.
It's like straight middle of the road. And I think that's because the first half of it, amazing, great, love it. Second half of it, it just kind of falls off for me. So that's my 21.
You mean 22?
22.
I'm not gonna give my thoughts. I'm gonna wait until
Okay.
I get to it because I have some stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
Number
21.
21, a controversial as all heck, Diamonds Are Forever Again by Shirley Bassey.
Ooh.
I hate that movie incredibly.
Sure.
Um,
That's understandable.
it
But the
ranked,
song too.
it ranked at the bottom of my ranking if you watched it. Which I know Steven did.
They will after this.
And they will after this, hopefully. One of the most songs that I like the gist of it, and it feels very Bond. I don't like anything else. I like the vocals and the instrumentals it's backed with are very nice. I think it accompanies a dull movie, a dull title sequence, and those two things have to sell that song. I think they don't, and the song kind of just gets lost. I do like the opening first, like Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
I love that. I just don't know. It's one of the songs that if I'm going to a Bond song, it's gonna be like at the end of the row.
Okay.
And on my playlist, I think it was towards the bottom. So yeah, that's my rant on Diamonds Are Forever at 21.
Okay. Right on. I don't know. You might be mad at me about this one too. I don't know.
Is this list just gonna be me getting aggressively mad at you?
Apparently, it's not Roger Moore.
Okay, good.
So we're good.
Oof.
This is 2 in a row now that aren't Roger Moore songs. But it's Writings on the Wall from Spectre is 21 for me.
I'll give my thoughts when we get there.
Can you at least... Okay, let me explain first. I like the intro. I think the chorus is a little bit just mediocre. It's fine. It works. Sam Smith has a great voice. And I think he has a voice that fits the vibe of a Bond theme well. But and I think this is an issue I have with Sam Smith in general, and it carries into this song, is as a vocalist, there's not a lot of energy, I guess, underneath his vocals. And so to me, his vocal line, although technically sounds beautiful and amazing, there's just like a lack of energy or conviction or something behind it. Like it feels kind of not empty, but just shallow a little bit, kind of dull. Like he doesn't care quite enough. And so that's kind of my issue with the Sam Smith piece of it. I feel like the song, like the orchestration underneath the song, has to try so hard to make up for that lack of energy in his vocal line. In my opinion, the best part of the song is the instrumental bridge that is kind of the climax of the song that it builds to. And his vocal is nowhere to be found. Yeah. And so to me, the best part of the song is the part where Sam Smith isn't singing.
Oh, wow.
But another thing I like about it is that it does maintain a nice continuity with the other Craig era Bond themes, and you get hints of the rest of them, and it, at the very least, it musically fits with the rest of them. So it's got a different sound. It's one of the more slower paced ones, but as far as the chord structure, the instrumentation used, it fits with the other movies of that era. Okay. And so I appreciate that about it for sure. And I do like this song. Like I've listened to it a ton, even outside of prepping for this. But as far as ranking it with the rest of them, it falls a little flat.
Okay, I just want to give my quick sense on this.
Totally.
I hear what you're saying. It does accompany a pretty bad Bond movie. It is the best part of that movie. I will say,
I would argue with you because I think the best part of that movie is the opening sequence in Mexico City. That's
I
a
have
one
problems
shot.
with that, but okay. But it's not about the
Yes.
it's
I'm
not
sorry.
about the movies.
I interrupted.
It's okay. No, if you agree with me or not, it's okay. This could switch some things around. This could be the song for License to Kill in a way. Like switch some things around because, License to Kill, it's kind of about Bond coming to terms with that, his friends are going to die because he's in this line of work and there's the writings are on the wall.
Yeah.
I found that kind of interesting.
That's a really interesting take. I've never heard that before. You heard it here first, folks.
Anyway,
No, that's really good.
that's really good.
All right,
Thank you.
what's your 20?
The instrumentals for From Russia with Love
Right on.
by John Barry, of course, the granddaddy of Bond music. Okay, we had like the golden age, which was Sean Connery.
Mm-hmm.
And taking the Bond theme out, which is of course going to be much higher on this list, I think it fits the very spy tone of that movie, but it's not incredibly exciting. It's just this like kind of like, it's very low, it's very kind of boring, and the title sequence is really lackluster. Just a bunch of dancers shaking their butts everywhere, and there's just words in different colors. I don't know. It's used better in the score.
Yes.
It's used much better in the
I agree.
score that it's in, and they give it like different tempos. In the title sequence, it's very like just like the same like 10 notes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's used better in the score. Again, not a song I'll go to listen to, but if I want an instrumental, there's another one that's much higher on this list. But From Russia with Love, number 20.
Yeah, I'll save my thoughts on that because I will be talking about it very soon.
All right.
20, something I don't think you'll disagree with, is something that was very low on your list, which is Moonraker.
Respect that.
It goes higher because Shirley Bassey, and she vocalizes so well, and her voice is Bond theme. Like you hear her voice, and you're like, oh, it's a Bond movie. Like she could be singing over like a trap beat, and you would be like, is this a Bond theme? Like, so it's just out of respect for Shirley Bassey.
Of course.
It's a little bit higher, but it's not a great song. I think it's an interesting musical idea. The like frenetic drums at the very beginning, the intro to the song. It's a quick little thing. It's like 2 measures, but it's this frenetic little drum line. The strings in the song seem like kind of a callback to You Only Live Twice. Like they're trying to kind of give you that feel. And it kind of almost feels like they're trying to combine Diamonds Are Forever, You Only Live Twice, and Goldfinger.
It does
feels
sound
like
like
a
that.
mishmash of those songs.
Yeah.
Because of that, and it doesn't integrate all of them super well. So it's a little bit jumbled.
It's
I feel like
very jarring.
my favorite thing, other than Shirley Bassey, is that there is a consistent triangle throughout the whole song. And
There is a triangle, isn't there?
It gives me a lot of joy. I don't know what it is. I noticed it like 2.5 minutes in, and I was like, this triangle guy is killing it.
you just do it.
Yeah. I don't. It's such a stupid thing to
I
say,
want
but
to
I
say
loved it.
like Barry said, okay, you just keep hitting that triangle. Okay. he's just doing it. Yeah.
You look at his sheet music, and it's just the one thing on each measure.
It's like the one note.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 19 is the song to a very underrated Bond film, as that is The World Is Not Enough by Garbage. Okay. I didn't know if it was that or if it was
true
pronounced
story.
some like
Garbage.
Garbage. That's what I thought it was
Garbage.
originally. Garbage. Okay, but Twine, as people call it, Twine. It's an interesting song.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off of Tomorrow Never Dies, they had a lot to prove in terms of the song, and it fits the dark tone of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that line is in the movie at some point. I don't know where it is.
It's the chorus. It's the first line of the chorus.
Yeah. But I just think it's okay. I do like how it builds a lot like this big, like epic, like I don't know how you call it, but it builds to something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. I do like how it's told from the villain's point of view, which is Elektra, which is cool. And it does use her catchphrase, "There's no point in living if you can't feel alive," which is cool. If you're a nerd, you can pick that up.
They integrate a lot of the script into the score or into the
movie
song, the lyrics.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Yeah, they do. I do like it. Has a very Bond feel to it with the instrumentals. It feels very like an update of Goldfinger, kind of. In a way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the next Goldfinger.
Right.
But it
gives you that feel a little bit.
Got that flavor. But it's never been one that I love in terms of the Brosnan era. but it does kind of encapsulate that movie extremely well. It's kind of like a song of desperation. Because, you know, like everyone in that movie is either sad or lonely or desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my take on Twine, as people call it.
Nice. I can respect that. Are we on 19?
19.
All right, so my 19 is Die Another Day.
Okay.
A lot of similar thoughts to what you have, so I won't even break down what I thought of it musically.
Musically.
The lyrics and a lot of the way Madonna delivers the lyrics is like hilariously stupid.
It is really stupid.
Like truly. I think the string loops in this, like the
it's like that
that thing, but the strings the strings that loop, I think those are ridiculously cool.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the beat, but I don't know. To me, it's like they took a big swing.
They missed.
And it was a foul ball. I'm not gonna say it was a swing. I'm not gonna
give it that much credit. I'm gonna say it was a swing and they didn't miss it.
I think it's a foul ball. It still counts as a strike, but they made contact. Because I think there are pieces of it that I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but there's just so much that's frustratingly annoying about it.
Yeah, it was something that I left off of my thing was it's David Arnold again. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah. Well, I think they just wanted to take a big swing.
And they missed.
Anyway,
sorry.
So one interesting thing is, and this is also a terrible thing, but she stays on the same note. They stay on the same chord through like all of the song. The only time it breaks, it's the Bond theme. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Where is that?
I would have to go back and listen to it again, and I didn't write it down, but I wrote down that the only time they break the pattern is the Bond theme, and I thought that was really cool. So that's
another day. It's like
it's rough. Okay. The lyrics are terrible.
The lyrics are pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to spend any more time talking about it.
Number 18 is probably the weirdest and the most innuendo-laden Bond song ever, and that is "The Man with the Golden Gun." Where do I begin, Stephen? I honestly love it. I'm not saying I like the lyrics. I think that
I'm not judging you. Do what you want.
The song is really interesting because coming after Live and Let Die, it's very jarring. But I think they do their own thing with this one. And yeah, it is weird. Some of the lyrics, they're there. If you actually like, analyze the song. I think it's a blast. It accompanies the very cheap nature of the movie extremely well. It seems very slapdash and cheap, but yeah, I honestly think it's fun. It's a fun song. It's not great, but I like it.
My number 18 is From Russia with Love.
It's right around there.
Yeah,
mine. Okay.
Similar few songs of ours, actually. The tempo, the horns, the rhythm of it, it's all great. I think it really also the sort of Russian flavor of the chord progression is really cool.
It takes place.
Yeah. I love that. The use of the Bond theme at the end is fantastic because you have sort of From Russia with Love and that whole theme, but then the ending of the song is just straight up the Bond theme. And I think that is really cool, especially since it's the direct sequel to Dr. No. The problem that I have with this, and it is an instrumental, as Brayden already mentioned, the problem that I have with this is that it is in a major key. So to me, it sounds too like peppy and happy, and there's not enough like intrigue and kind of mysterious vibe to it. There's no danger in this song. It reminds me more of like the theme song or opening track to like a Cary Grant movie from that era or something like that. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah.
So it feels appropriate to the era, and the problem is it feels like I said, it feels like a rom-com from the era, not like a dangerous spy thriller.
Yeah, I do love the yeah. I love that. That's great. And they tie back to it, and that's how the song ends, and it does end on a great note.
It's a well-constructed piece of music. For sure. I just think that with it being so like kind of peppy sounding and happy sounding, it doesn't really vibe with Bond as much as it should. Yeah. That's my gripe.
All right, at number 17 we have, it's a mouthful, On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Okay.
I think it's the better of the two instrumental songs. It's a funky song. talk about funky songs. That's a saxophone again, right?
I believe so.
This song is used well in the movie, and it fits that tone of the movie, that like adventure vibe, but there's also like a spy element to it. It fits very well, and I love that that transition into the titles with him running, and then it transitions into the I do love that. But I just think it's a really fun song, and it's another quick song. It's very short, and I think that they did a great job with it. And I just think it's fun. It's a fun song, and it's over fairly quickly.
Yeah. I get that. All right, so my 17 is, and let me just say, we are out of the songs that I think are kind of bad.
Me too.
We're into songs that I'm like, yeah, this is solid. Especially up through like I don't know, 14, 15. These are solid songs, and then we're getting into stuff that I think is really good. But this next one is A View to a Kill. We're back to Roger Moore. You got a break, but we're back.
God, Steven, you're killing me, man.
I know.
You're killing me.
So I think some cool things about it. The bass line of the song. It dances around the notes of the Bond theme, and then I think it's a really musically cool thing to do. I really respect that a lot. It's kind of one of the first Roger Moore era ones where we get the horns back, and the song really like moves. Like
it belts.
Yeah, and so that's good. It breathes some life into it. I like everything about this song, but the actual chorus of it, and I think the chorus. I think it's a similar complaint that I had to License to Kill, where it's very like major key, happy notes. It departs from the mysterious spy sound.
Well, that also is because that movie is a lot more happy-go-lucky.
Than
a dark spy thriller.
One thing I noted is I think that you can musically draw some interesting parallels between this song and a lot of the Brosnan era themes.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting, and it was a new thing that I noticed. It's one of the better ones of the Moore era, I believe. And I like Duran Duran. I don't love his vocal line on this song. It's fine.
It's fine. Also, I think the lyrics have nothing to do with the movie.
You're right.
Because most of the Bond songs have lyrics that tie right into the film. I don't know what the heck they're singing about. I mean, Earth's Crystal Tears, the stains on a marriage or something. I don't know. I think that it could be the thoughts of the villain, because the villain's so insane. It could just be random thoughts in his head. But I don't know.
Could be.
All right, number 16 is Tomorrow Never Dies. Dun, dun,
I'm going to cut you off right there
dun.
because my number 16 is also Tomorrow Never Dies.
Hey!
We matched one, finally.
We can just go back and forth on this.
Sure.
Following after GoldenEye, Sheryl Crow had something to prove. Like, she had something to prove. And she, I think, knocked it out of the park. I think it's a really solid song. It fits the Daytona of that movie extremely well.
Yeah.
It uses like cues of the soundtrack in the song at certain points. It's not used in the movie well enough.
Yeah, so this is one of the first songs that stood out to me where I thought that the lyrics were really, really strong. This is a lyrically strong piece, and it's one of my favorite vocals on any of them. Sheryl Crow destroys this song, and like the rasp in her voice when she hits those high notes in the chorus every time, it's almost like heart-wrenching. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from the perspective of the Bond girl. I think it is. That was my read on it.
From which one? From the villain's wife?
Paris,
yeah. Oh yeah, oh my God, it is.
Yes. And it's just like there's a heart-wrenching sound to it, but it also has a lot of the Bond theme influences. It also kind of makes some nods to other themes here and there, and it's very cohesive. It's probably the best of the, in my opinion, one of the best of the slower like ballad type Bond songs up to this point. So yeah, I love this one a lot. Booyah.